After over 10 years as a couples counselor, I've become convinced that most couples argue for the wrong reason, with the wrong goal. Today, I want to shift the way you think about communicating with your spouse, so those arguments don't turn into big blow-ups that just drive a wedge between you. With the ideas I'm talking about today, your arguments might even bring you closer together. One of the major problems with arguing to find agreement is that most disagreements in a relationship don't actually have that kind of agreement. Researcher John Gottman teaches us that up to 69% of disagreements in a relationship do not have a resolution. That means that most of the things we disagree about, we're never going to get on the same page on. And that's okay, because we don't have to agree on things to have a connective, productive relationship. Also realize that many agreements we come to are not really agreements at all. They're just the result of a power struggle where one person just gets tired of arguing and concedes. Getting on the same page is quite often a myth, and what we think is winning a power struggle is some kind of resolution. It's not. This is why so many of your arguments keep coming back, because you're not really resolving them. You're just kicking that can down the road for a moment of temporary peace. So let's unpack this, because I think this is the important part. Let's take an example. Maybe you and your partner get in a blow-up argument about whose turn it was to take out the garbage tonight. And maybe it gets so big and you're even thinking to yourself, why are we arguing over this stupid little thing? And yet I'm not giving up my end of it, and we're just going to go with this until it blows up into this great big thing where you both have headaches and you go to bed mad and the garbage is just still sitting there in the kitchen, right? I think we've all been there. Here's the thing I want you to realize. It's not about the garbage. The garbage is the object, but the subject is something far more fundamental to our relationship, and that is our basic human needs. Now, this is not just me talking. This is rooted in the work of psychologist Dr. Marshall Rosenberg, who developed an approach called Nonviolent Communication, or NVC for short. And in NVC, Rosenberg teaches us that feelings grow out of needs, fundamental needs that are met or unmet. Now, when I say needs, we're not talking about preferences. We're talking about things that are central to our personality. Things like fairness, trust, equity, respect. And we all have our own list of fundamental needs. Sometimes we think of those as core values. And it is when those get trespassed on, if you will, that we begin to have big emotions and we dig our heels in. So let's look at the trash through that lens, because let's say you and your partner are having a disagreement about the trash, and you know it's not your turn, but your partner's saying, why didn't you take out the trash? It's 8 o'clock and that trash is still sitting there. Maybe they even say something like, you don't care about me, you don't care about whether we have a nice home or not. And if you have a basic need for fairness and you feel like your partner is trying to dish their work off on you, or maybe they're saying these other things that really, feel like a stab in the heart because you're really committed to your relationship, then that may run crosswise with your need for fairness or your need for trust or commitment or whatever. And when it feels that way, that is a far more foundational thing to be arguing about. And so when we accuse our partner of these things, we're not just accusing them of the event. It may land like we are accusing our partner of something far more foundational. It may feel like we're accusing them of not being a good person or not loving us when they do. And so viewed through this lens, I think we can see how little arguments can turn great big. And by the way, there's not going to be any agreement here, right? There's not an agreement to be had about the garbage, because we're not even arguing about the garbage. We're arguing about other stuff. Hey friends, if my content is resonating with you and you want to get a little more intentional about working on some of these ideas, I've developed a 5-day relationship ceasefire email program. It just is going to give you 5 tips in your email box to help you work on your relationship and bring yourself and your partner closer together. So if you want to get that, it's down below, absolutely free. Just click the link. I'll see you there. So if you want to stop arguing over little things like the garbage, I think it's key to develop a deep understanding of the emotions and the needs riding beneath that. Part of the way we do that is through validating the emotion. Now, just a reminder, validating someone's emotions is not enabling bad behavior on your partner's part. And it's also not giving up one iota of territory on any legitimate disagreement you have. Validation is rooted in empathy, and the foundation of that is curiosity. What's it like to be you right now? I want to understand your experience as a human being. Now, the psychology of validation teaches us that when we can do that, our partner then feels like we are connected with their fundamental needs. They feel seen, they feel heard, they feel loved, they feel respected. And those are the key ingredients for a healthy, connected relationship. So let's talk about some alternatives. To begin with, realize that statements that begin with you said, you did, and you are, or the opposite of that, you didn't say, you didn't do, you're not, those are the raw material of a new blow-up argument. Why? Because when we use those prefaces to a statement, then the odds go way up that our partner feels attacked. You remember studying Newton's third law in school, every action is met with an equal and opposite reaction? I don't think that's just a law of physics. I think that's a law of relationships. I think that when we throw out a statement like, you said this, you didn't do that, it just gives your partner something to argue about. However, when we can use my basic rule in these moments, ask, don't tell. And if you do tell, tell about yourself, not about them. It gives us a whole range of new opportunities, right? Asking questions. Hey, I thought this was your turn. Am I remembering this right? Or did you need a little more time before you did this? Whatever. Or when you tell, see, it's not even that we have to be indirect about this. We don't have to soft sell this. But I think it's one thing to look at your partner and say, hey, you need to take out the garbage, which again feels like attack, and they might even feel like you're saying, hey, loser, take out the garbage. You don't even care about this, right? Even though you don't say it, they may hear that because that's how it goes in relationships. When we can say something like, I tend to get frustrated and anxious when things aren't done before we have a chance to turn in for the night. So would you please go ahead and take out the garbage for me? That's a very different approach. It's the same message, hey, take out the garbage, right? But it's a very different on-ramp to that conversation because it's rooted in you, not in them. If you lead with, you should have done this, you did this, you didn't do that, then there's always something to argue about. If you lead with, this is how I'm feeling, and these are my needs, there's nothing to argue. Remember, Rosenberg teaches us that all of our feelings and all of our needs are inarguable. No one gets to decide what those are for us. So leading, talking about yourself, instead of talking about them, we still get to the conversation, it's just a very different on-ramp. So the basic question is, do you really want to spend the rest of your relationship arguing about piddly crap that just blows up into these great big arguments? Or you want to step around all that noise, step around the object and get to the subject, which is your partner's emotions, your partner's needs, and your needs. That's what's driving all of our interactions in our relationships. Learning how to do that can give us a new way of communicating in our relationships, right? We learn how to lean into things like emotional validation. We lean into ask, don't tell, and if we do tell, tell about ourselves. These are the things that promote empathy and connection in our relationships, and it helps us stop these great big blow-ups before they even begin. All right, friends, I hope you found this helpful. This is part of a new series I'm developing on emotional validation and ways that we can build connection in our relationships. So I hope you'll stick around for that. Thanks for being here. And until next time, be well.